Hello everyone, this is Cavell, and today we're going to be talking about how to do long division. Okay, so long division, alright, first thing we gotta do is find a problem. So we'll start off doing long division with some simple, division problems, ones that you should know based on your multiplication tables. Alright, so we could do, for example, 24 divided by 8. Okay, so before we go into the process of how to do this, we need to explain and distinguish what each part of this process is. All right. So the 24 is called the dividend. All right. So whatever number is being divided is called dividend. All right. 8 is called the divisor. Okay. Divisor is the number that you're dividing by, and then whatever answer we get up top here is called the quotient. Okay. So the process goes as follows. So for a simple problem like this, you ask yourself, how many times does 8 go into 2? Well, 8 goes into 2 0 time, right? And then you progress onwards to the next digit and yourself, how many times does 8 go into 24? Well, if you know your times table, you should know that 8 goes into 24 3 times. Okay. After that, you subtract it by whatever number you got, right? For the quotient multiplied by the divisor. So 3 times 8 is 24. So you subtract 24 from 24 and get 0. Once you get 0, you could stop. You don't have to do anything else. Okay. So my quotient here, or my answer to this division problem, is 3, right? 8 times 3 is 24. 24 divided by 8 is 3. All right. Let's do another simple one. Let's do 81 divided by 9. All right. Same idea. We look at the dividend and we ask ourselves, how many times does 9 go into this first digit of the dividend? 8. Well, 0, right? Then how many times does 9 go into 81? Well, if you know your times table, you should know it goes into it 9 times. So you do 81 minus 81 because 9 times 9 is 81. 81 minus 81 is just 0. So that means 9 times 9 is 81. So these are all pretty simple long division, right? You should just know these multiplication facts off the top of your head. Okay, so now let's do some more difficult ones, right? Let's do a 3-digit divided by a single digit or 2-digit, right? The first one I've got is 304 divided by 8. All right, so when you do long division here, right, once again, like before, we go through each digit within the dividend and see how many times does the divisor go into that number. Okay, so how many times does 8 go into 3? Well, 0 times. Okay, so we just stop right there. So we don't do anything else. All right. And then we ask ourselves, how many times does 8 go into 30? Well, 8 goes into 30 how many times? 3 times, because 8 times 3 is 24, right? Remember, so when you're up to this step, you want to ask yourself, how many times does it go into 30 without going over, right? So you don't want to put 4, because 8 times 4 is 32, right? 32 would be too much. So you do 30 minus 24, and you get 6. And after that, right, you have to pull down the next number that hasn't been used, so the 4 comes down. And you ask yourself, how many times does 8 go into 64? Well, 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64. So you subtract the digit that you got for the quotient multiplied by the divisor. Alright, so 8 times 8 is 64. And you subtract, once again, 64 minus 64 is 0. So right here, once you get a 0 for the difference, right, you can essentially stop because we're at the last digit already. And that means there's no remainder, right? 8 goes into 304 perfectly fine, and it goes into it 38 times. And obviously, anytime you do these long division problems, it's always a good idea to check your work, right? So to check my work, I would do 8 times 38, right? 8 times 8 is 64, right? 8 times 30 is 240, right? I would add, right? And then as you can see, we get back the answer 304. All right. So as you can see, let's try to conclude the steps, right? Step 1 was look at the first digit. How many times is 8 going to 30? Or sorry, 3. And it was once. Or sorry, 0 times. So you put 0. And you ask yourself how many times is 8 going to 30? You say 3 times. Subtract the 24 because 8 times 3 is 24. After you subtract, you get 6, right? And then we pull down the 4. And we, once again, ask ourselves how many times is 8 going to 64? 8 times minus 64, you get 0, so there's no remainder. So the answer is 38, or the quotient is 38. Alright, and then we check that work by multiplication. Alright, let's do another one. Let's do 161 divided by 7. So once again, look at the first digit. 7 goes into 1 0 times. 7 goes in 16, right? 2 times. So we do 16 minus 14. 2 times 7 is 14. Get a difference of 2. Pull down the 1. Remember, every time you get the difference, you pull down the next number if there is one. 7 goes in 21 3 times. So I do minus 21. And I get 0. So 7 times 23 should be 161. Alright, so let's see. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 20 is 140. If I add these guys together, I get 161. Okay? That's for 161 divided by 7. Let's do another one. Let's do 231 divided by 7. Okay? 7 goes into 2. How many times? 0. So once you get used to long division and with experience, you won't have to put the 0 there anymore. You'll just see that 2 is big, or 2 is smaller than 7, so you just go to the 2 digits, right? And you go, how many times is 7 going to 23, right? That's 3 times minus 21. You get 2. Remember, you pull down the 1. How many times is 7 going to 21? Well, 3 times, right? So you minus 21, and you get 0, right? So let's check that work. 7 times 33, right? 7 times 3 is 21, right? And then 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 2 is 23. So you get an answer of 231. Alright, so we check that work. Alright, let's try to do a little bit more harder. Alright. So I think you guys get the gist of how to do any 2, 3 digit, 4 digits, etc. Divided by a single digit. Maybe we do a harder one. Let's see. Let's do let me think about this. Actually, yeah, let's just do 3 digit divided by 2 digit, because I think that'll help a little bit more. So the first one I got is 627 divided by 11. All right. So first thing we do here is same idea like we've been doing. We always ask ourselves how many times does this divisor go into each of the place values of the dividend. So obviously 11 is bigger than 6, so we just gotta move on to the 2 digits, right? So 11 goes in 62. How many times? And then if you're not good with your multiplication tables, you can always just do your scrap work on the side. So maybe when I was younger, I'd count by 11, right? So you should know your multiplication tables. So automatically I know 11 times 5 is 55, and I can't do 11 times 6, because if I did 11 times 6, I get 66, right? And that's too much. So I do 5 times, right? Minus 55. 62 minus 55 is 7, right? Remember, pull down the next number, 7. How many times is 11 going to 77? 7 times. So I subtract 77 and I get 0, right? So remember, we always check our work, right? So I would do 11 times 57. So a good way to do this is actually do 10 times 57, which is 570, right? And 11 57s is just plus another 57. All right. you get 7, you get 12, you get 627. So 11 times 57 is 627. Okay. So I didn't really do traditional multiplication here. But I just knew that 10 times, so 11 is really close to 10. So 10 times 57 is 570, and one more 57 gets me to 1157. Right. So that's how you would check your work for this one. Right. It's always a good idea to check your work. Let's see. Let's do 288 divided by 6. Okay. Once again, the 6 going to 2. No, I would usually, if you're, beginner, you put 0, but as you're more experienced, you go on to the 2 digits and you say, okay, how many times is 6 going to 28? Right? 4 times. Minus 24. Subtract. 20 minus 24 is 4. Pull down the 8. Right? 6 goes into 48. 8 times. Right? So subtract 48. And I get 0. Right? Remember, check our work. 6 times 48. Right? 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 plus 4 is 28. So I get 288. Okay. So far, so good. Let's do another one. Let's do 312 divided by 6. Okay. 6 goes into 3, 0 times, so you go on 2 digits. 6 times 5, right? Minus 30. 1. Bring down the 2. 6 goes into 12. 2 times, I subtract 12. It's 0. So 6 times 52 should be 312. Well, let's see. 6 times 52. One way I do this in my head is I know that I can break apart 52 into 50 plus 2. So 6 times 50. 6 times 5 is 30. So 6 times 50 is 300. 6 times 2 is just 12. Right? So you get 312. Okay. So let's do one more of these, which is kind of medium, not too hard. Let's do 380 divided by 10. Okay. So obviously 10 doesn't go into 3, but so we gotta just check the 38. 10 goes in 38 3 times, minus 30. 8, right? Pull down the 0. 10 goes into 80 8 times perfectly, right? Subtract 80, I get 0, right? So 10 times 38 is 380. Well, whenever we multiply by 10, right, we just multiply by 1 and add a 0, right? So 38 multiplied by 1 is 38. You add a 0 and you get 380. So 10 times. So in other words, 10 times 38 is 380. Okay. All right. So that's that for long division with no remainders. In the next video, I'll do some harder examples, but this is just a good introduction to how to do it in the first place. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.